my colleagues, fellow workers in government, fellow citizens of Cebu, ladies and gentlemen. It's more fun in the Philippines. Yeah! For us Cebuanos, this Department of Tourism slogan resonates strongly with an energy like no other region. From a passion fueled by a communal love for Cebu, every Cebuano I know proclaims that there is no other place like home. Our official Cebu City website proudly declares Cebu City the most livable city for all. Last year, the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry in a tourism congress expressed hopes that Cebu would be able to provide a unique and memorable experience for tourists by giving them a taste of the Cebuano way of life. But what is the Cebuano way of life? Or rather, what has become of it? A well-meaning Cebu businessman said, "It isn't just about 4 or 5-star hotels or going to the malls. For a lasting impression for tourists to remember," he said, "maybe aside from visiting our popular tourism landmarks like Magellan's Cross, the Santo Niño Basilica, and Fort San Pedro, we should also take tourists for a walk around the country's oldest street, which is Colon. Further down that road is the Philippines' oldest school, University of San Carlos, another important Cebu historical landmark." I pondered and later felt the strange nudge coming from a festered conscience. As your chairman of the city's Committee on Tourism, I couldn't help but wonder, on nights out, how do we take tourists to Colon and its side streets leading to the country's oldest school without them thinking that in Cebu, children and women are the attraction? How do we power up tourism in a district so flawed with reports of robbery, drug addiction, and prostitution standing in the way of its historical value? At the heart of Cebu's University Belt is another place in Cebu City that is rich in history, Bongkera. The street, named in honor of Governor General Bongkera, a protector of natives, is a heritage site that has unfortunately carried its ill repute as the city's unofficial red light district through many city administrations. From as far back as I can recall, Batakko, that part of Bongkera, along Barangay Camagayan, has been known to be the haven of prostitution and the den of illegal drugs. Officials from the Department of Health report a continued prevalence of the prohibited drug lobbying in that area against a backdrop of a thriving commercial sex industry. The lobbying problem in Camagayan has become so widespread that as part of a so-called harm reduction program, health authorities have resorted to the distribution of new needles and syringes for drug users in the area. Not surprisingly, latest statistics from the Cebu City Police Office list Camagayan as first out of 10 drug-prone Cebu City barangays considered by the PNP as seriously affected. For the common tao, like our valued street sweepers in the morning, used needles and syringes have become a common sight among piles of garbage left along the road in Camagayan, while passers-by of whatever age, size, or color have to bravely ward off propositions from young prostitutes and their handlers from dusk till dawn. A check on social media by my office shows that chat rooms are rife with jokes about losing virginity in Cagayan, described by a netizen as the barangay that never sleeps, the land of milk and honey. The open discussions on Cagayan in social media, at work, in school, and even at home are a full testament of how Cebuanos have learned to accept the dangers lurking in one of Cebu's most historic places. The brazenness of illegal activities involving the vicious trading of illegal drugs and women 24/7 has turned this part of our heritage into a farce. Today, therefore, I rise on a matter of personal privilege to defend a heritage site against a handful of people in Cagayan who are under illusions of untouchability. With my personal honor, the honor of my family, and the honor of my office, I shall bear the naked truth. The age-old shameless existence of bare-faced criminals in a place of historic value, thus that is ironically just a short distance away from City Hall and a stone's throw from the PNP regional headquarters, is nothing less than a blatant symbol of a government that has turned the other way. For how can we not see the unabated illegal activities in Cagayan happening right under our very noses? And how can we not hear about the imminent threats against our citizens and our tourists whose security rests upon us? It is time for us to squarely face the issues. The Cebu City Health Office reports an almost 100% rise in HIV/AIDS cases in Cebu City, with 362 HIV infections recorded last year compared to 188 cases in 2012. Of the HIV infections in Cebu City, injecting drug users or IDUs account for 73%, which City Health considers as a concentrated epidemic. Meanwhile, female sex workers injecting drugs with a previously used needle were also found infected with HIV. According to the Department of Health, injecting drug users have a high STI prevalence, with 8 in 10 contracting hepatitis C. DOH7 reports that the prevalence of hepatitis C in Cebu City points to an extensive use of non-sterile needles. Unofficially, the used needles and syringes are believed widely shared in drug dens within the district of Cagayan, also now known as the Dubig capital of the Visayas, where pawn shops like Jerome's have found a flourishing market. These alarming statistics have brought me to stand before you as I dare break the deafening official silence on a social taboo. Institutionalized prostitution and drug addiction in Cebu City's so-called red light district. There will be expected protestations from people who prefer a status quo in Cagayan, though it is seriously drug-prone. But I speak from the heart of a father who intends to look out for the welfare of his son and that of other Cebuanos belonging to the new generation. A city that prides itself for its cultural heritage and religious monuments on one hand, cannot, on the other hand, go on turning a blind eye towards the promiscuity and widespread drug abuse that are in our midst. It is hypocritical and two-faced of a city that promotes itself as the most livable city for all. let us all start walking the talk with clear measures to finally obliterate Camagayan's image as the city's red light district and the paid capital of the Visayas. In 1992, this council enacted Ordinance 1427 and earned the distinction of being the only city in the country to formulate a law regulating the sale of Nubain. The ordinance penalizes even the mere possession of the drug without authorization, accreditation, or a prescription from an accredited physician. It has been close to 25 years since the law came to effect, and yet the city remains in battle in an Nubain crisis that apparently has been left alone to resolve by itself. Without fear of favor, let us start to strictly enforce Cebu City Ordinance 1427 and let us take back Cuenco from the dark-crazed hands of a few. Let us begin with the establishment of heavy police and military checkpoints guarding entry points into Camagayan, which should make it difficult, if not impossible, for drug users and other thrill seekers to make a mockery of our laws. To further deter crime, let us install CCTV cameras and more street lights in strategic places throughout Camagayan and its surroundings. Taxi drivers are the city's frontliners as de facto tour guides. Let us require CITO to coordinate with the Department of Tourism so that a formal tour orientation for cab drivers can be included in this mandatory seminar on local traffic rules and regulations. Let us all aspire to have a cause identifiable to Cebu City. Let Cebu be the first to say that in this city of great minds and of great people, there is no room for commercial sex tourism. In efforts to become the face of Philippine tourism, let us make all things safe for our tourists visiting uptown, midtown, and downtown Cebu. On the eve of Philippine Independence Day, let us begin a city quest for independence from our nagging social problems by replacing apathy with hope that together Cebu City can. Finally, with the strength of Hercules and with the grace of the Lord Almighty, let us be in real life the cradle of Christianity in Asia, united with God and with God on our side, nothing is impossible. With that, Mr. Chairman, I hereby move to approve my resolution calling on the PNP Regional Office to coordinate with the AFP Central Command through its Peace and Security Center so that joint PNP military mobile checkpoints can be established within the district of Camagayan until its rampant drug addiction and prostitution problems come to a final halt. Mabuhay ang Cebu, mabuhay ang Cebuano spirit. Daghang salamat.